invited me, not necessarily because I'm a Minister of Energy and Water Resources.
Sure.
But before then, I was the Vice Chair of the IPCC.
Right.
So
Okay.
I've been playing around with climate change for quite some time.
Yeah.
And definitely, I'm supposed to give them an African perspective.
Sure.
And what I keep on stressing that African countries stand to lose a lot due to the impacts of climate change, rather than causing the climate change. And why? Because Africa is in the very early stages of development. To develop, you need significant amount of energy and water also. But energy, if you don't have energy, you cannot develop. In the process of developing African energy, you have to use African resources.
True.
African resources is divided into two. You have fossil fuels, about 10% of oil and gas are in Africa.
Right.
It's not yet been exploited. Very few is exploited. Even the ones, 70% of what is exploited is exported.
True. Oh.
Yeah, so Africa is in a funny position. Yet still, we are the least user of modern energy.
So really, climate change will hurt Africa more than, well, the talk around regulating and imposing these other restrictions will hurt Africa more than it will benefit Africa, from your perspective.
Yes, but also climate change creates an opportunity. This is the opportunity for us to fully utilize the modern technology that would help us alleviate some of these problems. And such as if you want to develop your coal, you can use modern coal technology. For example, the South Africa is going to develop its coal. The Medipi station. The Medipi power station is going to cost them about almost 4 billion. Now that's quite a lot of money.
It is.
But that would push their energy sector forward. And knowing the strategic position of South Africa, in which they supply regional bodies, regional countries with energy, that would help the whole developmental status of that region. But with climate change, they would be using better technologies than the technology that you used previously, which means that you reduce the amount of coal, then you also increase the efficiency at which you produce your energy.
So we make a leapfrog, essentially. Talking about energy issues.
That's in fact, I must emphasize, that is our only option. The option of Africa is to leapfrog.
Right.
Incremental movement is not an option.
It's not going to help us. Still talking about energy issues now, one of the issues that's been around West Africa particularly, we've seen in Ghana now the discovery of oil, and potentially now we are now going to see that country hopefully becoming a major oil producer and maybe later exporter. But Sierra Leone is also in the throes of what may turn out to be good oil discoveries. Give us an update on what you have found so far.
Let me take a step backward.
Sure.
Africa is, because of its colonial structure or history, Africa is the least explored area in the world for oil and gas. It is remained unexplored. Why? Because Africans were not in charge, it was colonialists, and they do what they wanted to do to suit whatever their objectives are. Now you would see in the African continent a lot more exploration activities are going on.
Right.
Then we are now seeing something in Uganda. We're now seeing in Ghana, and we talk about the Sierra Leone one. Now there are two things we should look at.
How far are you?
Well, far as we have got to the stage in which we can announce that there is oil.
Right.
We are moving now to the stage in which we should announce whether it's in commercial quantities or not.
Yes.
Because in oil business, you can get enough oil to satisfy your national requirements and your neighbors.
Yes.
It's not necessarily the oil trade. Then you don't import it as you are now spending significant of your foreign exchange.
So you say
yes.